learned dilly freaking squat, y'all. They keep lying. They just keep lying. In this case, it's Fatima. But I'm going to do a quick summary and then we're going to dive into the review. So Fatima still lying to Zach, technically about two things. Because she lying about Leslie. She keeping a secret about everything that Leslie has done thus far. And she also lying because she not telling him that she's having these pains and stuff. She not telling him that. I said, first of all, I hope they ain't finna have this lady have a miscarriage just like Karen. I said, I hope they ain't finna do it again. I said, oh my freaking goodness. I hope that they're not taking it there, but we'll see, y'all. But yeah, Leslie still over here stalking and stuff. Deja caught Leslie taking Fatima and Zach food or whatever. She tried her best to stop her, but failed. Fatima ends up asking Deja to keep it quiet. And I said, there they go. I said, that's exactly how people gain their power. That's exactly how people gain their power. But yeah, all these doggone secrets. Connie's apartment caught on fire, but I'm confused. Were the kids in there or not? Because didn't the CPS people come last week? I said, what happened with that? Why they always sit up here and they don't never pick up where they left off? They'll never pick up where they left off. But yeah, I was confused by that. So she first, I think they showed her first. Hold on, she was crawling on the floor trying to get to him. She was calling for her son. I think she was calling for her daughter, asking him to get her daughter and stuff like that. But then they showed her crawling out and stuff, and she was screaming and yelling for her kids. But the way they showed it, I was like, was she dreaming? I said maybe she was dreaming. I know they showed a scene in the trailer where Zach and Fatima was supposed to be comforting her. Do y'all think the kid's gone? I said, what happened to the storyline? Look, I'm getting too far ahead, y'all. I'm supposed to be doing a quick summary. But yeah, I was confused by that part. Jeremiah ended up getting released from the hospital, and he was trying his best to stay because he doesn't want to use again. But they end up having security to escort him out. I'm assuming they escorted him out. I don't know because he did try to hit the guard. He tried to hit the police officer or whatever. I don't know if there was a police officer or a guard, but either way it go, he tried to hit him. He tried to hit him, so I don't know if they locked him up or what. Sean ended up taking Angela out on a date, but she gonna mess it up by doubting herself or whatever. He was just reassuring her at first that that she's okay, he like her and all this other stuff, she don't need to change and all that, but she still end up injecting herself with that stuff. Not with that stuff, but with that stuff. She injected herself with some medication. I'm assuming that's what's it called, the weight loss medication. That's what I'm assuming, because remember the episode where she was asking the lady about it? I'm assuming that's the same thing. I might be wrong, but yeah, either way it goes, she was reading the instructions or whatever, and she just injected herself. I was like, yeah, they had, spoiler alert, she's supposed to be passed out, and Fatima's supposed to be the one to find her. Well, the way they showed it, Fatima was the one who found her. We don't know if the guy Sean gonna find her and then call Fatima or what, but they showed Fatima trying to get her up, and she wasn't getting up. And the last thing is that Nate ends up asking Lori for a divorce. And that he don't want Belinda either. But I think we talked about that. I don't know if we talked about that or not. But yeah, hey y'all. Welcome back to another review of Life for Chesses for Tyler Perry's Zatima Season 4, Episode 9. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like the episode? Look, I tried to do a regular video, but I kept messing up. I do way better when I do it this way. But yeah, to me, I like the episode. I'm confused by some certain things, but we gonna keep it pushing. I haven't watched episode 10 yet. Doesn't that supposed to be the mid-season finale? I don't know, but either way go, they need to keep playing it. Hopefully, they still air it next week, but we'll see. But yeah, I liked the episode. I was confused. I was confused by the whole Connie situation. And also, it's the fact that Zach and Fatima learned Dealer Freaking Squat. It's like last season, wasn't Zach... I don't know. No, Fatima was lying last season because Zach found out. And we seen how that turned out. Now you in danger again, and you still lying. But you learned nothing. And you in danger twice because you in danger with the Leslie situation. And you in danger with the whole pain situation. Do y'all think Leslie doing something to her? I mean, she been in and out their house like it ain't nothing. Do y'all think she doing something to make her lose the baby? Or is she trying to take the baby? I don't know. They also got a spoiler photo where she's in an orange jumpsuit. So I'm assuming they catch the girl. But yeah, okay. So at the beginning of the episode, they just started where they left off with the whole Belinda Nate situation. So she's still repeating what she said about how he was with her. Lori trying to go after her. They end up stopping her. Belinda wanted them to agree with her. She was like, I'm on Lori's side or whatever. No, Nate was the one who wanted them to agree with him, but Fatima was like, she's on Lori's side. So they end up talking. Belinda talking about some doggone she'll back off if Nate decides he wants to work on his marriage. Now, ain't that what he said prior to this whole scene? Didn't he tell her that he was going to work on his marriage? But he ended up telling Lori that he think that they should be honest with themselves. They should get a divorce. And that's where I have a problem with. I don't think that it should never get to the point where somebody who's sitting up here cheating, in this case Nate, where Nate is the one who tell Lori that, now I don't know what she did or whatever, maybe she did something that we don't know about, I don't know. But I said it should never get to that point where he over here telling her he wanted a divorce, all this cheating he been doing, all this cheating he been doing. And not only that, they let you know that people be jealous too, because he told her that they don't have a good relationship, they don't have a healthy relationship. He had a chance to see a healthy relationship, talking about Zach and Fatima or whatever. I said, I bet you did, and that's why you over here getting strippers, y'all getting strippers and all this other stuff. Now, Tony was involved too, though. I said, see, you be jealous. They be jealous, that's what it is. But yeah, he was like, he seen what a healthy relationship look like, and they don't have it. So I'm assuming he like, okay, let's just take time and stuff like that. But no, he wants a divorce. He wants a divorce. So Belinda assumed that him asking for a divorce means that he want her. So she was like, yes, I do, or whatever. And he was like, he don't want to be with her either. And he was like, they can't see each other, that he shouldn't have used her. So instead of just leaving, because I'm assuming she gonna leave, she over here waiting on him to change his mind and say something to her or whatever. He's talking about some bye. I said, see, it should have never got to that point. It should have never got to that point. Connie ends up calling Zach. So first she ends up telling him about Zach, telling him about Jeremiah, that he OD'd and everything, and you could tell Zach felt some type of way. He was getting emotional. He wanted to know, if he was okay. She ends up telling him he's okay or whatever, and he's like, he just need to focus on his family. So she ends up saying how she needs some time to talk to him and Fatima. And I was still confused because unless I missed it, did they show or continue showing the CVS situation? But she was like, she need to talk to Zach. She need to talk to Zach and Fatima or whatever. And he was like, what's going on or whatever. So she was like, nothing. She'll talk to them and tell them everything or whatever, because he could tell something was off. So he ends up getting off the phone. And that's when he ends up, I skipped the part. Nate, after Lori left or whatever, Nate ends up talking to Zach about strippers, and that's when Angela and Fatima was asking him about it. But Angela ends up having to leave to go prepare for her date. So after he got off the phone with Connie, that's when Fatima was asking him, and Tony had came back in. Because Tony over here, I said, now, no, Nate ain't no good and don't care, because you don't see nobody else, or you don't allow nobody else to go talk to your woman. The world, Tony told me, I go talk to her or whatever, or something he said. He ends up coming in to say that Lori's gone, but she said she's going to burn all Nate's stuff. So Nate ends up leaving. That's when Fatima was asking them about strippers. So Zach was like, Tony is the one who did it. So she ended up grabbing Tony by the ear. She ended up grabbing Tony by the ear or whatever, saying she expected that from Nathan, but not him or whatever. But nothing else happened. Did he say Big Tima? Did he call her that? Was that the first time he called her that, or did he call her that on another episode? But yeah, they end up showing Angela, and she was about to inject herself with the medication, but then Sean showed up. He showed up with flowers or whatever. She was like, she had to go get dressed. She wanted to go upstairs and sleep with him. He was like, no, I want to put a pause on that. I want to actually, date you. I want to take you out. She was doubting it or whatever, and he was just reassuring her. He was saying how he wants to get to know her, and she seemed like she has doubts. So she eventually agreed to go, but she came back in. She was like, she got to get her purse. So she got a purse, but first she injected herself. Then she left out. The nurse ends up coming in the hospital with Jeremiah, and she told him how he's being discharged or whatever, and he wanted to stay. She was like, the hospital is for sick people, and you're not sick or whatever. And he was like, he wants to stay because he afraid he gonna use again. So she was like, no, you would need to go to rehab. That's where you need to go. I assume based on that trailer, because you know how on the trailer they showed him being pulled away. I thought he was saying help him or something like that. No, the guard dude was pulling him away, because he was trying to stay in the hospital because he was afraid that he gonna use again. He don't want to do that again and stuff like that. So that's a good step. But I don't know if it's gonna last. I was hoping that they showed him getting help and him on the path to a different road. Do that make sense? Do that make sense? I think so. Yeah, they do make sense, don't it? But yeah, maybe next season we'll see it, because we halfway through with this season. They end up showing Angela again. She was mad because she was like, you said you had, this big thing planned for me and all this other stuff. Just finding reason to say something and stir up stuff with him, and he picked up on it. So she was like, I've been here before or whatever, and she looked like she wanted to leave. And so they went in or whatever, and he had stuff laid out or whatever. I'm assuming he booked it for just them because I didn't see nobody else or whatever. So she was shocked and she was happy about it, at least for a moment. At least for a moment. So they end up sitting down. The lady came over. She was asking him. She addressed him by name, and she noticed it, and she felt like they had something going on. He was like, "I know what you think because I've been there, whatever. But it's not that I know her because she helped set all this up." So she was like, What do you do?" So he ends up revealing that he's a chef. I think he said a private chef. Well, either way it go, he's a chef. So he ends up saying he's a chef or whatever. He made the menu just for her. I said, I guess she gonna pick apart that next. I said, I guess on the next episode she gonna pick that apart. Something on the menu gonna make her think that he's trying to say something or something. I'm assuming. I haven't seen episode 10, but yeah, that's all that happened with them. Next, they show Fatima and Zach. Fatima ends up thanking Zach for everything he's doing, said that he's doing a good job. She still don't tell him diddly freaking squat. They end up showing Connie, and she sleep, and the kitchen on fire. Her apartment is on fire, or whatever. And then, like I said, I was confused now. I was confused. Is she calling for her kids? They not answering. She tried to get to them or whatever. She don't, so she ends up crawling to the door, and she makes it out. All those doggone fire trucks and stuff outside. And she's screaming for her kids. She said she can't see her kids. And I was like, I'm confused. Can you not see your kids because they was trapped in the fire? Or can you not see your kids because CPS took them? Did CPS find out that you was sick or something? Like, what's going on? She had left the kids in the door and everything. I was confused by that scene. I don't know if the kids was actually there. So, because she's supposed to be crying and Zach and Fatima on. So, I don't know. I really don't know. The last thing is that Fatima had ordered food and stuff. She was telling Zach she finna get it. The food is here and stuff. So Leslie don't took the food and she trying to leave. So Deja tried to grab her, whatever, and she ended up, I think she kicked her, she hit her or something. And she calling for Fatima. Fatima come out and she just over here talking about she need to figure this out. You need to figure it out. She just told you what it was. I said, Fatima, you tripping. I said, you tripping, girl. She told me she need to figure this out. Ain't nothing to figure out. This girl don't stop. She in your hair. She got your hair. She got your fake belly. She been in your house. She got a camera in your house. She been in your job. She playing a dangerous game. I said, I'm assuming she finna do a whole lot of damage if she hasn't already. If she hasn't already. Hold on. So they just like, go get Zach, hurry up. She like, he in the shower. She like, that don't matter. He need to come out here and handle her. She getting away. She was like, she don't want Zach to know, whatever. Just keep this between us. We gonna work on it together. She was like, we gonna work together. And she was just excited about that. Somebody said, yeah, we gonna figure this out and everything. But yeah, Deja tells Fatima, but she wanted to keep it from Zach. Once again, this is how problems occur. You giving people way too much power, especially somebody who wants you, dude. I mean, now she want Preston. Now she want Preston for right now. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know at this point because I feel like Deja gonna end up being a good character. I think that she gonna end up getting on their good side. We'll see. But yeah, she tried to stop her. She got stopped. She tried to stop her. She got stopped. Fatima wants to keep it a secret or whatever. So she goes in. She was like telling Zach she got the food. He asking who that was. She said something about the delivery driver tripped and just lying for no reason. Just lying. Before that, I think, was it before that or after? I don't know if it was after or what. But yeah, when she went in the house, she started having pains. And I was like, is she having pains because, they told her to take it easy and not be stressed or whatever? Or is something else going on? Did Leslie do something that we didn't see her do? I don't know. But yeah, she having pains, y'all. And this ain't the first time. So technically, she lying about two things. She lying about the crazy girl. And she lying about the pain she been having. So yeah, that's it. That's all that happened. I'm about to watch episode 10 now, y'all. But let me know y'all thoughts down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.